So last month you made 5 recommendations. You and Ken Chenault came out and made 5 recommendations that you said could result in 1 million new jobs. Of those 5, one was putting construction workers back to work, real focused training. What's the most important? Because there's one thing to say we need to do this and we'll have 1 million jobs in 2 years. People need them now.
You know, here's what I would say. The president has given us a champion inside the White House. And so we're following each one of these recommendations through the process, either in the private sector or in the, in the administrative sector.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Speed counts. So I'll just pick the easiest, no-brainer one of them all.
Okay.
Because what we wanted to do was start with things that could be implemented. Visitor visas, right? We have an 8-week cycle. Our competitors have a 1-week cycle. We have lost half our market share in people coming to this country. That can be changed very quickly, and the market share responds very quickly, and we hire more people in the travel and leisure industry. Now, look, you can argue maybe that's not as sexy as one of these factory jobs or an engineering job, but it's a job,
right,
and puts people back to work, and I think that's what the council, how we want to get started. By the time it's all said and done, we're going to do long-term things and short-term things, but we wanted to get started as a jobs council with things that can happen fast. Because if we can't do the easy things, we can't do the hard things.
And you've also said, look, we as a council, CEOs like you, Paul Otellini, and other regulators and union leaders, don't have a silver bullet. And I think people are sort of looking to you in the council to fix it like that. Can the government do that right now, or is it
I think it's
the
going to be
private
really,
sector?
it's going to be 100 jobs business plans. That's what it's going to take. But overarching everything is confidence. Really, there's just nobody today conveying a sense of confidence.
Right.
The other thing is, I think we've lost sight of people. You know, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring reporters to Greenville and Durham is not because you guys write about abstractions. You know, the people in Washington think about people as abstractions. Nobody has ever had to explain to me the value of a GE job. My father worked for GE. I understand it. And I think when you put the concept of a job together with the people who are doing work, it makes us even more hungry to create these kind of opportunities. So I think undergirding everything has to be a more confident leadership in the United States.
Behind each and every one of the more than 14 million unemployed Americans, and it's actually a lot more than that, there's a face, right? There's a family. The president didn't want to surround himself with people that agree with him and are of his same party, et cetera. He brought people like Paul Otellini in, who's been outspokenly critical of some of his policies. He brought you in. Are there areas where you pushed back at the administration and said, you're not executing the right policy here?
Sure.
Where has that been, and have they been receptive?
Look, I think the president's all in on this. I think he said to his team, his administration, listen to these guys and let's get work done. Some of the toughest areas are regulatory, because nobody wants to listen to business people talk about regulations, because we all complain about regulations.
But you said you can get through them. Big business can get through it.
You know, but what I do is let's start racking up some of these things like shale gas or FDA approvals or things like that, and let's start thinking about them in the jobs context. And that's a place where I think actually the president can lead. He can talk about not that we need to slow things down, or not that some regulations aren't important,
right? But
there's a lot of jobs that are hung up in red tape, and that's something that the president can lead.
Think we're going to see a cutting of red tape between now and the election?
I really do, because again, it's possible, and there's jobs associated with it.